and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That. I am Naturally Elise, and that is my bro,
JR.
And today we are welcoming a very special guest. We are talking to our homeboy and very, very good friend, Sin. Hey.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you want to tell the folks.
What I want to tell the folks. I mean,
He's my brother.
I'm JR's brother. That's all y'all need to know. I'm his bodyguard. I'm his backbone. I'm his twin.
That's right.
That. But I'm an artist too. I make music. I'm from Flint, Michigan. But yeah, I'm more so known as JR's brother. That's my claim to fame.
Here he go.
I feel honored just to even know him.
Oh,
right.
Y'all being real cute, but okay, I own it. Fine.
Yeah.
JR is a star.
See, it even rhymes.
Word.
Fan.
This is what we going through, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Grandma.
So Sin, tell us what song you picked to talk about today.
Man, I picked Adriana Evans, Trippin. This is cringeworthy to say as a music head, but it is like my favorite song of all time. Yeah. It's kind of crazy to say that as a music lover, but this album, this song, everything to me, the lyrics, the production. If I could have just one song for the rest of my life, it would be this song. Seriously.
So when did you first hear the song?
I first heard it, I was 14, 2 months away from 15, April 97. I'll never forget it. Cause I was just watching BET one day and I was like, who is this Egyptian goddess looking woman performing on Planet Groove? And I called my mom in the room and, we just watched the whole performance and we was blown away. And literally right after that, me and my mom got in the car, went to Circuit City. Some of y'all probably don't know what that was, but
okay.
We're straight to Circuit City and copped it. And then we played it for my pops and then he loved it. And it's like every summer, no lie, from 97 to now, my family has to play that out. And that was always my favorite song. Trippin' was my favorite song.
All right.
So
what about it? What do you love about it? What makes it your favorite song?
Yeah.
Man, I literally, the vibe of that song, I just get lost in it. Like the instruments, me and JR love horns. We always hit each other like, man, the horns, the horns on that song. Like the horns is everything, man. I get lost in the vibe. Mainly the way it makes me feel. It just makes me feel real good. But like, I get real nostalgic too when I'm listening to it. It's one of them songs. Like it's weird I picked it because it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just like it's just magic, man. Straight magic. The way it feels.
It's like that with your favorite song, no. And I knew that's why with this song when you chose it, I said I know for one reason why he loved it because of the horns. We're horn dudes, like that is the best part of the song. And we're a lot of notes readers here. So
that's right.
Of course I have to know who played them horns. And it was Wayne Benjamin and it was what's his name? Gary Bias. And Gary Bias played horn on Sweet Love from Anita.
Oh wow, you taking me to school.
And he did and y'all know my favorite Whitney album is I'm Your Baby Tonight. He played the horns on I'm Knocking.
Wow. So
that's why Dred Scott is that dude though, because he gets real musicians.
Yeah.
And then Dwayne played horns on Comfort Zone.
What?
Vanessa Witt, yes. And then
bro, drop the mic. Like
and this flipped me out because I knew when I saw Dwayne on there, I knew him from somewhere else. He played on Mary's Strength of a Woman.
Wow.
He played Strength of a Woman in Hello Father. I was like, because when I got Mary's album, bro, I was going through the liner notes. I looked at it and I said, Dwayne, okay, cool. So when I went back and listened to this a couple of days ago, I was like, who the hell is playing these horns again? And I saw Dwayne and I said, oh, shit. I was like, Dred Scott is that dude, because again, this whole album, this song, this everything is like he's a musician for real, even though Dred was a rapper. You know what I mean? But he's such a musician. And for him to get all these key players for this album and all that good stuff. But let me tell you something. That damn horn on this, the way them dudes, listen.
Yeah. Yo, you killed me with that, man. The most I knew was, I think his name was Craig Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
He's on Seeing is Believing, I think.
Yes,
but
he is.
And that's
he was in Ohio Players. What's that, Elise?
And I'm saying that's the album I have behind me with Seeing is Believing.
Word up.
The album with Trippin on it, but I have this, so I was like, I gotta rap regardless.
Yeah. But like you said, man, Dred Scott, and her musical director, I think is Rastine Calhoun.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is ill because he plays like 20 different instruments. But I think on the album he played the flute more than anything. But like you said, Dred Scott, because I knew him first, as an MC.
Right.
And he had the song Check My Vibe with Adriana on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there it was like Dred, and he put that boom bap. It's still some hip hop, on a lot of the joints, I was
underneath. Just about to go there.
That's what separated it, I feel, from the other artists that was out at that time, was Dred gave it that boom bap. It wasn't just all live instruments. It still has some programmed drumming in there,
Exactly.
Yes. So can I tell you what I feel this song is a nod to?
Ooh.
Okay.
I think it's a nod to Minnie's Take a Little Trip. Listen to them one after the other. And
okay. You know what though? She said that JR, man, it's funny, it's my favorite album. Is it what's the name of the number 7? Is it I'll Be There?
That's my song that I dedicate to you.
Yeah, okay, really?
Yes, I'll Be There.
I'll Be There. She was inspired by Minnie, but I didn't know that about what Sis just said. So I gotta check that out after this.
Tell me what you think. That's what I feel it's a nod to.
Okay.
I mean, even down to the title, because hers is Trippin' and hers Take a Little Trip. And listen to how think about the lyrics, and begin to take a little trip. It's like, take a little trip in your mind. And so it's
okay, music head. Okay, girl.
Yeah, both of y'all dropping the mic on me, man. Like, this is crazy.
They don't sound the same, but they sound related. They sound
Oh, I'm gonna have to listen
to
that.
They have a.
And her and Dred say that all the time when she do interviews, that she, they listen to a lot of Luther, and they pull from him, pulling from the Stylistics, another group that they say they pull from. So I ain't gonna stay on them too long, because
don't start.
Yeah. You know how your brother get.
Don't start. Don't y'all start.
We gonna keep it on Adriana.
Oh my God! Here we go. Anyway, we're speaking on this album, bro. We know that this album is so underrated, completely. And because I was listening to it today, and I feel like it's had the vibes of Brown Sugar to me, the feeling of it. So I felt like, if y'all both agree, if y'all feel like this album would have came out in '95, y'all think it would have did better and would have had a better.
Oh, absolutely.
Got better respect.
But I also think
absolutely.
I don't think her timing was a problem. I think she just didn't have the same label push and all that as other people would have. I think people, So I think her timing was fine. I mean, I think it would have did well then too, but I think the timing was that was the sound right then. So.
Yeah, true. That's true.
It was, and then she was on Capitol. Remember,
but see, remember she went to Loud though.
Tracy Spencer was on Capitol, and they don't know what to do with Black.
Yeah, because she was on Capitol at first, because I think she said the album was done in '95.
Yeah.
So it could have came out, like you said, with Brown Sugar and Groove Theory and all that, but then they put her on Loud, and they had Mobb Deep, It's like my favorite hip hop group, but they ain't know what they was doing with no Adriana. So And then Erica was just straight, you know, we hate the term neo soul, but despite that, it was a movement, you know what I mean? And Erica was like the queen with Baduism. So it was like Adriana just got left behind. It's like nobody even really knew about her.
Because it was a lot of big Black artists at that time. Like they was really, and then it was hard to push past those big powerhouse artists.
And then they was just trying to put everybody in that neo soul because Rasan got put into that. And
if
you listen to that album, it ain't that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They put Maxwell in there, Eric Benet. They was all out around the same time.
Yeah.
And see, all of them, you said Brown Sugar, Groove Theory, Max, all of them is 95, 96. Yeah, by the time she came along, it's like she jumped on a wave, but she was kind of on it early, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with they was doing all of that on analog recording, where the mixing board was burning up and bringing in real musicians and whatnot. Like she was on that vibe early.
You can tell when you listen to it, you can tell like it's loud. Like it's hitting you. You know what I'm saying? It's really hitting you. Like if you listen to Reality on the album, right? That junk like hits you like because it's so hip hop based. It's like boom, like it catches you. That's why I'm like, I don't understand how this album just didn't get through. But like y'all said, it was the push. Capital couldn't push it. Loud didn't know what to do with it. It was just
Plus the A&R that signed her.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sis.
It's tough for R&B artists on hip hop labels, like Sincere. Like that's I mean, you go back as far as think about Allison Williams. Like, imagine what she could have been if she wasn't on Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? Like,
very true.
Yeah, I wonder why that is though. Like, you know, like hip hop, we had the street teams and the hit the ground running approach, but when it came to Adriana or any R&B artist, unless you was like Drew Hill on Def Soul or something, you got forgot about.
I think a lot of like Loud. She was on Loud. They were so ready for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They already had Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep, and that's
Big
what
Pun.
So you So you get a girl that comes in that she's a little soft. You know what I mean? That's why as much, I'm about to say this, but y'all know when Irv had all those and then Ashanti comes in, he knew what to do with her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he knew to work her in, have her on like different songs.
No, that's very true.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe if they might would have thrown Adriana on a Mobb Deep or Wu-Tang record, it would have got her a little notice. But just pushing her out there, everybody was like, who's this girl? Because
that's a good point, because Mariah did The Roof with Mobb Deep.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
It's like they could have did something. I never thought about that.
And you see what they did with Erica. Erica was on the duet Precious Love with her and D'Angelo before then. Had her in the video of Lady. It was like pushing her. She was like, okay, who is this girl? Like we seeing her all over the place. Then when she comes with On and On, boom, explosion.
She'd have been nice for the hooks for Big Pun, man.
Yes.
Word. That's what I'm saying. Like the momentum would have been there, man.
And that just goes to show that Loud did not know what to do with her. You know what I mean? It would have been. They needed somebody like a Irv. Like, okay.
I hate when labels merge. I forget what happened with Capitol and RCA and Loud and all that, but when labels merge, and A&Rs abandon, they take a new job somewhere else. So everybody they sign is treated like stepkids where they end up at. So you look at like, y'all know I love Donnell. He was straight on LaFace, but then when they end up with Jive, they got Joe, R. Kelly, Usher, I think, Justin Timberlake. Ain't nobody think about Donnell no more now.
Right.
It was the same. Like once her A&R was gone, it was like she was an abandoned stepchild,
She didn't have that person to fight for her anymore.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy to me.
Because that debut is so brilliant to me. Like it's so brilliant because this is
all the way through, baby.
Huh?
I said all the way through, baby.
Yes, like it is. Like if you listen to these songs and you listen to Like Heaven, she goes off at the end of Heaven.
Oh my God.
Like, for real, like she goes off, and then you know, Seeing Believing, you got Reality, you got all these songs that's so hip hop based. They could have really worked this, and this album could have blew up. Like it could have blew up like on some Baduism tip. Like she could have been like, it could have been her and Erica for real, if they wanted it.
Right.
But
right.
Again, it irks me because I was listening to it today, like, and then going and looking at everybody on Amazon and all this, and they give this album 5 stars. Like she's not getting any bad stuff. And when I saw a lot of people was talking about Trippin' as their favorite song, that's why I bugged me out.
Really?
Yes.
Wow,
like, I was doing forums like you, bro, because you good for forums. I was doing forums like you, and I was like, wow, a lot of people like Trippin'. You know what I mean? So it's just, and then when Sis was like, me and her was talking about it, once you said that you picked this song, Sis was like, yo, this is a, like, if you feel it, this is a ode to Minnie. And I was listening to it today, and I was like, yo, she got a point. Because Sis, wasn't you like, Come to My Garden, it kind of gives you that feeling a little bit?
No, Take a Little Trip.
Take a Little trip.
Take a little trip.
I gotta listen to that after this.
Okay.
I gotta listen to that.
Okay.
I gotta listen to that.
Like, if I put them on a playlist, I would put those songs one behind the other.
Back to back. Okay.
Either way, either one first. It don't matter.
And it was so jazz influenced too, for sure. Especially with her mom being a jazz, you know.
Right. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Because her mom was Mary Stallings, and she performed with Dizzy Gillespie and I forgot the other jazz legend. She was raised around those legends. You make fun of her sometimes, you know how she phrases like a jazz singer. Glad to see, you know, it's like it's so jazzy, but it's still hip hop because her and Dre got a b-boy hip hop backpacker background.
Right.
So it's like the best of both worlds, you know. That's why I love it so much.
Oh my God, man, this was,
you know,
this hurt.
Because like Dre said when they was first working on the album, Black Moon, I Got You Open was out. 93. So they was like, oh, let's make records that sound like the sample, and then we won't have to sample. Let's get real musicians and make a song that sound like a sample. Like, you can't lose with that formula to me.
Exactly.
You know,
you can tell with the players that he got on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously they gave Dredd that much respect because a lot of them was already doing, you know, already had big songs and big careers, and they did this album and they just didn't do one song. It was like they did multiple songs. So they was like, whatever y'all got, Dredd, you and Adriana got going here, we want in. You know what I mean? Right. Clearly it was dope. So it just bothers me that this album just didn't. And like,
same here.
Introducing me to this because I didn't know it. You know what I mean? I really didn't. I didn't know it until 2015.
I've noticed in the last few years, a lot of people are like rediscovering her, and so you bring it up, and they're like, they know who you're talking about. But before, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if one.
She need to quit playing and drop another album too, because it's been 11 years since she came out with something. Yeah, so come on, man. Like, we tired of waiting. But yeah, that's a good point.
What she said, bro, it's the politics, and she ain't here for it. That's the problem. It's the politics. You gotta play the game. And a lot of people is like, I'm not playing it. Like, she probably had to play it so much on that first album, and she got nothing out of it. So she like, why am I gonna keep playing this mess? And I ain't getting nothing for the first album. You know what I mean? So it's like
right. And they wanted her to be something she's not, because she said in the interview I watched that I don't know who this was at Loud, because I like Steve Rifkin. It couldn't have been him, but maybe it was. But she said the label wanted her to do what Brandy was doing the year prior with Rodney Jerkins and Never Say Never.
Oh no!
And they wanted her to copy that sound, and she was like, you know what? I want to be released, and they allowed her to be released, you know, with no static. And then she went to Brazil for 7 years. She was ghost.
I hear.
You know? She didn't want no. She was like, I don't want to be in this business no more if it's gonna be like that.
Right, because she wouldn't have sounded great on no Rodney Jerkins. She needs real instrumentation.
Yeah, it would have sounded very generic.
Yeah,
and forced. But they wanted to get her on the radio more. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Music was changing at that time too. So, music was changing, man. I feel like 96, 97, things started getting more and more commercial. So
yeah,
they wanted her to catch that wave.
Yeah, Sean calls that one.
Yeah.
Right. No denying that.
Okay.
No denying that.
Yes. So, what was I about to ask? Oh no.
Yo, we all in it.
So since a lot of people might not know about Adriana Evans, how about JR and then me and then say another song that you really love by her so people know what to look for.
Okay.
Dope.
Okay, I'll go. I'll be there. And the reason why I love that song so much because it kind of takes me in a trance and it makes me think about my brother for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know he's all, to be honest, like he's really, when he says he's my backbone, he really has been since I started Junior's World of Soul. And he made me come out of my shell. Like he really did. Like he was like, yo, you got this, like do this. So anytime I listen to this song, like I posted it today, and that's why me and Mark was going back and forth about it. And I was like, yo, this song just reminds me of my brother. So I love this so much. So if anybody want to go and if you want to be vulnerable, because I am vulnerable and I am sensitive.
We love it. We love it.
Like Elise will tell you, sensitivity is what?
Strong and sensitive. That's what. Oh.
See, no, that's my song. Yeah. So for me, I can get into it, but I'll Be There is another one of my favorites from Adriana. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then mine, I was telling the guys before we started recording that my favorite Adriana Evans song is Distant Lady, and it's on her Lost and Found album. Even though I
great song,
love her because I still got Marvin on the brain, but
what up, Law?
Great song, man.
Yeah, that's one I think people should check out, and that one is actually on Spotify. So if people want to listen to it, you can stream it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. I gotta go with the other one I said before we started. Would be "Love Me on the One." That is a head nodding banger. Like, don't try to drive to that. Come on, man. Like that's right. You wanted to love me. Like, come on, man. Like, that's all I gotta say about that one. It's just dog. Like, that's a banger. Straight banger. R&B banger.
Okay.
R&B bangers.
Oh God.
Yes. Well, Sam, we thank you for hanging out with us. This was a super dope conversation. I'm glad we got to talk to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
likewise.
Thank you. So if people want to find you, if you want to be found, where can they find you at?
Y'all can find me on Instagram. Well, I'm on Twitter too. Cinematic, SINEMATIC 06.
All right.
Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Bandcamp too if you want to check the music out. Sincere 9 at Bandcamp.
I was about to say, you better plug it. He got Infinity, he got Act 1, Act 2, he got Unison, he got all of them. Y'all need to go and listen.
Word.
Yeah.
I would recommend y'all check out the Bohemian if you go to my page.
Yeah, a Bohemian.
You can start there.
Yes, and we'll post the links for you so y'all can check him out. He's dope. Very dope.
Dope.
So,
appreciate y'all.
Yes. So thank y'all for watching, and we will catch y'all on the next episode of Catch That. Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we talk to and get to know people through their favorite R&B songs. I am naturally Elise, and that is my bro.
JR.
And today we are welcoming a very good friend of us personally and of the R&B representatives, Mr. Neal Carter. Hi.
Good afternoon.
And Neal, tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you want the people to know.
So I'll start with how music has been a part of my life. So my name's Neal Carter. Music has been part of my life to the point where my father met my mother. My father was DJing a party that my mother was modeling for. It was the after party because she was a model. And yeah, music has been a part of my life because it was a part of theirs.
Nice.
We were, raised in households, that, you 8 o'clock, you hear the vacuum cleaner and you hear the Auntie Jams, you hear Patrice Russin, you hear, Stevie, you hear everything, you hear EWF, you hear Daz Band, you hear Gap Band, and, next to the vacuum cleaner, when you hear certain songs and it's 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, it's time to get your black ass up and start to clean the house.
Yeah.
So,
Like a Pavlovian response.
yeah.
Okay. Every black home did that. Hello.
Yes. So, Mr. Neal Carter, what song did you pick for us to talk about today?
I selected, and I was debating which song to pick because there's so many. But because y'all told me this artist hasn't been chosen yet, I decided to choose "I Wish" by Stevie Wonder.
Yes, great pick. So, yes, songs in the key of life, as
That's
we
right.
all know.
That's right.
So when do you remember first hearing that song?
What I was just talking about in my intro. It was a part of the morning routine on the weekends for cleaning. It was one of the last songs my brother and I got to hear when my parents were having rent parties. Mortgage parties. That was the "it's time to go to bed" song because the other songs are about to start to get played. The songs that we were a little too, that we knew because we would be on the stairs listening to them or we'd hear them through the floorboards. But, at the end of the day, that was the "it's time to go to bed" song. So, and then it also was the song, it also was one of the songs in rotation to clean the house.
Nice.
That is such an artist song. Like you know what I'm saying? Like an artist song. Like when you hear it, everything shines on it. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know what I mean? Like the horns shine on it. Everybody, I say this every show. I'm the horn. Stop. Stop.
I don't remember if JR is a fan of horns or not.
Oh, you don't? Oh, that's real cute. You're starting. He started. But nah, this is like the artist song. And if this true, I think this is a rumor that Stevie heard Shining Star by Earth, Wind, and Fire and created this. This is kind of the rumor. I don't know. It's been going around. I'm not too sure. I wonder if you guys heard it. Because if you do listen to "I Wish," you kind of I can hear Earth, Wind, and Fire doing a song like this.
Oh, yeah. You can definitely, not only can you definitely hear it, but it definitely would be a song if, artists back then were petty and, if they heard a song that's, if they liked a song, they would, try to imitate it to the best of their ability. And, Stevie was a fantastic writer and a excellent composer of music. Yeah. And it shines through on this track, so much so that it's been sampled several times over.
Yeah.
Stevie was one of the first, was one of the, is one of the few artists to be sampled on a regular, one of the few Black artists to be sampled on a regular basis, and this song is no different. Funny story about this song, and JR, you actually touched on it. So Wild Wild West, and also the eventual Will Smith version. So when that song was performed by all three of them, I can't remember, I think it was the MTV Music Awards, and Cisco was there, and they were all on stage, and then Stevie came out, and then they performed a medley of all 3 songs.
Yeah.
And then the thing that irks me the most about it, as a Black disabled man and seeing another Black disabled man on stage, obviously from that standpoint, I, love and respect Stevie for being a Black disabled artist and, excelling at what he does. But they left my brother on stage.
I remember that.
Everybody left.
Oh, you right.
Everybody
Yes.
left. They turned the lights off and were like, we're just going to leave Stevie on stage. Like,
Stevie should have just started going off and playing. That would have been dope if he did that. Like, oh, y'all gonna leave me on stage? Oh, I got y'all. I do's this.
I just like that moment. I wanted to use that story for this episode because there are so many younger folks, is what I will say, that know the Will Smith version. Don't really know the Wild Wild West, the original Wild Wild West song, or Stevie's song.
Yeah.
And these are the same kids who know that Will Smith song and assume that when Stevie came on stage, that Stevie was originally part of that song, or they don't know the history, right? These are kids who don't know the history of their song. Now, this is me not trying to gatekeep, right? But I wish kids would do a better job of younger folks do a better job of knowing the history of the songs, going back.
Yeah, because I feel like when I was young, that yes, us listening to hip hop was heavily sampled, but I feel like at least for the major samples that we knew the original, but it's also the generation to where we listen to our parents' music and our music.
Right.
So we were familiar because we heard, I wish sitting on the steps supposed to be in bed. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's oof.
Yeah. So why is it one of your favorite songs? What about it just kind of puts it up there for you?
If you actually listen to listen to the song on repeat, he tells 3 different stories in all 3 verses.
Yep.
He tells the story of growing up as a nappy-headed boy. He tells the story of being I think it's a doctor's office, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'm trying to remember what the 3rd story was. It's just 3 different stories that 3 different stories from 3 different perspectives. And one of the fantastic things about Stevie is he was a storyteller, right?
Yeah.
A lot of artists at that particular point in time, Donny Hathaway, Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass, Stevie, Earth, Wind & Fire. You had all these amazing Marvin Gaye. You had all these artists, Tammy Terrell, who were storytellers in their music.
Yes.
And not to say that doesn't happen now, because I feel like there are a number of storytellers in R&B music and soul music right now. Yeah. It's just that they're not popular. Right. Storytelling isn't popular anymore.
Yep.
It's let's get a quick single out, let's rush an album out, not put any thought behind why these songs are one after the other, and then when you actually build a song, right? Whether it's whether adding horn stamps, JR, or guitar riffs for Elise and I, whether it's a bass guitar or an electric guitar, it is why I really enjoy that kind of sound. It's why I'm a fan of artists who would like PJ Morton. Robert Randolph and the Family Band, particularly their earlier stuff. Not really their more recent stuff, because they've kind of leaned into their kind of Christian self a little bit. A little bit too much, but
a little too much, yes.
But if you haven't listened to, speaking of Robert and I know we're talking about Stevie, but I got to give respect to the Robert Randolph and the Family Live at the Wetlands Band. If you have not listened to that album, listen to that album, because I actually introduced Elise to one of those songs earlier. From that album. It is, if you like that kind of storytelling and building of a song and crescendos and a live crowd reacting.
Okay.
That's the song. I know, in a previous R&B Representatives episode on IG, you know, one of the conversations was about like live artists.
Yeah.
You know, we could talk about, you know, artists that don't perform well and ones that do, and y'all did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stevie, and this is how I'm circling back. See, you always circling back. Stevie was a fantastic artist when it came to performing live. And one of the things, and there are a number of live versions of this particular song on YouTube and you know, other streaming services and things like that. And it's just as great live as it is on you know, on wax or streaming. It is one of those songs that, you know, to me, it is one of Stevie's songs that stands the test of time. It's unfortunate that on an album like Songs in the Key of Life, it is considered a B-side from that standpoint. Mm-hmm. But to me, that's not the case. You know, I appreciate this song. I appreciate Stevie as an artist. And I am, you know, obviously, you know, I could talk about Stevie all day, but I really enjoy this song. You know, every time I listen to it, I hear something different in terms of the composition. Mm-hmm. I am a massive fan of the composition of a song, how a song is built, how a song is made, when things are interwoven into it, the stories behind it, the lyrics, why certain sounds were chosen for a particular song. And you can, as you already said, JR, like there are influences from other art, like from other songs, and definitely you hear that EWF sound. Mm-hmm. But that was also the sound of the time. But this is an album in Songs in the Key of Life that has just so much to it. There are, you know, everybody has their favorite song or favorite songs from Stevie. But this is definitely in my top 5 for sure.
This is dope from the beginning when you first hear with the bass line.
Yep.
Like,
oh man,
Nathan is going off. Dun, 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 dun. Like, it's getting you right there. Right. It's like bringing you in. Like, Stevie is like, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Come to me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, he got you. You know what I'm saying? And then when it's like the way I would have loved to be there during the making of this record. Yep. Because it's such an artist, it's a musician's record. This is to me how Stevie is is really one of the greatest composers of all time. Because if you can put all of this together to make a great song like this, and everybody gets shine, because I mean Stevie's singing on it, so of course you're focusing on him, but you notice the bass line, you notice the trumpet, you notice the saxophone, you notice everything in this song. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, I like the little funny parts of it. You know what I'm saying? Like when the girl say, "You nasty boy," like I find that, like, you see what I'm saying? Like I find that, like, it's funny, it's groove, it's like everything. This song is a really a perfect song, to be honest. You know what I mean?
It's so funky.
Yes.
I love funk, you know.
It's a stanky song.
And then just circling back real quick to about telling a story and songwriting. Mm-hmm. To me, so I really love folk music for the storytelling element. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, technically Stevie is a funky folk artist. Like just the way he writes, it's very much, you know, reminiscent of, you know, like the Joni Mitchells and all of that. Like, it's a very similar writing style, and so I love that, but it's funky, you know.
Yes, it's just like for that. It's like Prince always said that he loved Joni Mitchell, but then he said Songs in the Key of Life is the best album to ever be created. And like you just said, this song, like Stevie is like a folk type of dude. And listen to, because folk is all about life and all this, you know what I'm saying? And like Neal said, the first part of the song is about Stevie's life. Like he's telling you about his childhood, but it's so funky, you know what I'm saying? Like he ain't get no presents, but it was all good, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I can imagine like a Bob Dylan or somebody, and I ain't get no presents here, and da, da, da. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, but Stevie made it so funky that you want to sing along. You be like, dang, Stevie, you ain't get no presents though? Damn. But he like, it's good. I'm straight though.
Right.
But think about how he made "Living for the City" sound, even though that's a sad ass song. But,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Very true.
And everybody can't do that, you know.
Yeah.
You're right.
One of the things I got to say that that ties me into Stevie, and I touched on it before, is because I'm a Black disabled man and he's a Black disabled man and a you know, a tremendous artist and influence.
Mm-hmm.
There are a number of Black disabled artists that are living and who have passed on who didn't lean into the fact that they were disabled. There are still people to this day who are able-bodied, who don't who are fans of Stevie, who are like, well, he's not blind, and they try to make jokes and everything like that. And it's just like, can you appreciate his music? Can you appreciate his influence? Because there are artists that would not be making music now without that song, without that album, you know? And for me, like, that's what you should be focusing on.
Right.
Yes, some of his more recent songs are a little preachy, a little long in the tooth, as it were.
You're right, though. You're right.
And I wish was not that. I wish was a song for the time. I wish was a song about his life, a song about, you know, what, you know, it was three different stories, like I said, three different verses, three different stories. And it is the perfect song. One of the few, perfectly composed. Obviously, as we talked about before, it's one of the many songs that was sampled by folks, and probably still will be sampled by people that, and you know, the samples we probably hear now, we're probably going to hate. But at the end of the day, like, there is a reason why Stevie is so influential. There's a reason why people are giving him his flowers now, as we are, as so many artists are leaving us for the ancestral plane. Folks are just like preparing themselves, and I don't want to necessarily prepare myself for when he passes on, because you can't really prepare yourself for that, right? Because it's unexpected.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where we have to be consistent in our appreciation for an artist like that. You know, and, you know, understand that his influence is so strong. Understand that this is an artist that told Berry Gordy, look, like, I want to do my own music, and I'm not going to do that bubblegum stuff anymore. I'm going to do songs that, you know, I'm not Lil Stevie. I'm I'm an adult. And one of the things that, and this is, as a Black disabled person, to kind of fight for your independence, is so much a part of his life, and so much a part of Black disabled folks' life, because we are dealing with multiple intersections of, you know, pain. We have to be, you know, we are dealing with the pain and trauma of being Black, and then we're also dealing with the pain and the trauma of being disabled at the same exact time. And with those intersections, Stevie, as an artist, had to deal with that from a record label owner in Berry Gordy, who wanted him to remain, you know, this bubblegum pop kid who was wearing suits and a bow tie, you know, and was skinny. And Stevie was like, look, I'm not that kid anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Yeah, it's almost like, I want to keep you as this novelty act, you know, because I'm going to diminish, you know, because you're disabled and because you're young, I'm going to, you know, you don't know what you want. Steve was like,
watch me.
It's so many people that, and you, oh my God, Neal, bringing that up about Barry doing that, because he did that to a lot of artists.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He did that to Marvin, and Marvin was like, I'm not. He did that to the Jacksons, and they ended up leaving. They was like, we're tired of being this bubblegum. Yes, we making you this money, but Barry didn't understand the change in music. And I'm so glad that Stevie fought for his independence, because he was like, yo, if you don't let me do what I want to do, I'm leaving. Like, I'm out. I'm going to let a label going to let me do what I want. And it's so crazy, because imagine if Stevie would have left. Motown probably wouldn't have lasted that long. Because
imagine if he went to Philadelphia Records.
Oh my God.
Imagine what that not just the songs in the key of life, but imagine what that with that production quality and that iconic label. Imagine what Stevie's sound would have been, because we've seen what the Jacksons sounded like, and it was a total departure from Motown.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. Like, I can't even fathom like what that would have sounded like.
God, with Gamble and Huff and MFB, you know what I'm saying, Mother, Father, Sister, Brother, it would have been nuts. Like, it would have been crazy. So Barry made the right decision, even though I think in his mind he thought Stevie was gonna fail. Because Barry is like that. He'd be like, all right, I'm gonna let you have it, but you gonna fail. And when Stevie didn't, it was like, oh, okay, I'm behind you now. Even though he was trying to make somebody a movie star. Just saying. But at the end of the day, he knew, and once Stevie got with what's the name, Elise? What's the name?
Sharita?
Yeah, Sharita. I couldn't think of her name. Sharita. Once he got with her, it was a wrap. It was done. It was a wrap. And that's why we got all these great things after that. But like you said, Neal, with him he had to fight for his independence his whole life.
Yep.
So finally to stand up with it in music, and we have so many artists because of him. That's why you got to call the guy a musical genius. Like, it just is what it is, man.
I'm sorry. All these bitches is his sons.
Okay.
Because you talk to any musician of any genre, they are going to, and you ask them about influences or what they love. Stevie is always in the mix, whether it's rock, whether it's a pop art, whatever.
That's right.
Even people love Stevie.
That's right.
And you can hear it in a lot of music today. I mean, the good music, I guess I should say. The good R&B. Some of these be sounding the same, and it's not what it should be.
Yeah.
But that's another catch that for another catch that. So I hope you caught it. But Stevie's imprint, Stevie's influence is so strong in so much music today. Yeah. And there are so many artists that don't do enough to sit at the altar of Stevie and go back and pay their respects. They shouldn't be paying him dust right now, because they would be dust without him. They'd be snapped like that, it'd be Thanos snap, and they'd be done.
Period.
Yes. So I was going to ask you how this has affected your life, but I think you. Yeah. I think we covered it all.
I think we did.
What a great conversation. This was dope.
Dope, man. Oh my God.
Yes. So if people would like to find Mr. Neal Carter, how can they find you? Get in touch with you.
If you want to be found.
Exactly. I mean, at Neal Carter, just like it shows up here without the space. Obviously on Twitter is where you can pretty much find me. I'm not one to give up my email address, not one to give up my, what's out VR code or nothing like that. Like, you're not going to get that. Just go and get, the Twitter and just be happy with that. That's pretty much the extent of how folks can get in touch with me.
Yes. And before we leave, I just want to say that me and JR, we love us some Neal, and he has been a R&B representative supporter from the very beginning. Yes. He's always there. He watches and we talk about it. He's also my playlist partner. I'm playlist queen, he the king. And we just rule shit. So that's what we do. So I appreciate you for doing this. From the beginning, we knew we wanted to have you on here, and so we're glad that we made it happen.
I am happy to be here. You know, much success for the future of Catch That. Much success for the future of R&B representatives. Listen, listen. All the platforms, rate, subscribe, all that shit. Follow all of it. Do it, or folks will come see you. Don't.
That's.
We got goons.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But yes, again, thank you so much. And thank everybody who is watching. And we will see y'all on the next episode of Catch That. Peace.